Ooh, who would have thought that your Tampa Bay Buccaneers would come out of this game with a 4-2 record and a 38-10 whooping of the Green Bay Packers? The last 10 or 11 days since the Bears loss was all about how Brady didn't know what down it was, and the Bucs have a lot of issues. Green Bay's coming off of a full bye week, so they have 2 weeks to prepare for this Bucs team where the defense just maybe is a little bit overrated and the offense is maybe a little bit overrated. And here we go. 38 unanswered points after going down 10-0 in the first quarter. What a wonderful fucking win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the kind of win we were looking for. A statement game to prove to the league that we are not to be played with, that we should not be taking lightly, and that we are serious and we are contenders. Before I get into my reaction for this game, make sure you click the subscribe button down below. I am Rami B. Make sure you are subscribed so you can stay tuned to all my weekly reactions to all these Bucs games. But let's get started. If you see me looking over to my left, I have some stats up so I can be accurate in my information. As you see, I'm still wearing my Jameis White jersey. Try to match them with the uniforms that the teams are wearing. And unfortunately, my Brady one still is not here. So hopefully it's coming soon. They said it'll be shipped by the end of this month. So hopefully I'll have it in one of my soon future videos. But let's get into it. Brady, 17-27 for 166 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a QBR of 104.9. Not the best performance from Brady, but he was efficient, got the ball where it needed to go, some clutch throws, and played mistake-free football. He pretty much managed this game. The game was won on the back of the defense, which I will get into in a little bit. Rojo, third straight 100-yard game. That didn't happen since Doug Martin in 2015. I think this is the 4th time in history that a Bucs running back has 4 straight 100-yard games. He had 23 rushes, 113 yards, with an average of 4.9 yards. I said we need to be about 5 yards average for Rojo, and he will be an effective running back, so he has continued to maintain that, and 2 rushing touchdowns, so it was good to see him get on the board. Keyshawn Vaughn at the end of the game, when we took out Brady, when the game was essentially over, he had 5 rushes for 42 yards and 8.4 average. He broke a couple runs. I don't remember if the Packers did bench their starting defense or not, but that looked great. And then LaShawn McCoy, the only down spot of the rushing offense, 4 rushes for 100 yards, 4 rushes for 1 yard, 4 rushes for 100, 4 rushes for 1 yard. Bad performance on that end. I don't know why we keep giving him the ball to rush. He's more of just a pass catcher. To be honest, he's not even that effective as a pass catcher. So I guess just blitz pickup. I don't know, but I know Leonard Fournette wasn't playing, so hopefully when he's back, these touches go to Fournette and not to Shady. Gronk has 5 catches, 78 yards, 1 touchdown. Godwin 5 for 48. Evans just had 1 catch for 10 yards, and Tyler Johnson 1 catch, 7 yards, and 1 touchdown. Evans, I'm still kind of worried about these 1,000 yards in the season. I think he doesn't even have over 250 yards. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know he doesn't have 300 yards on the season. So, I mean, he's going to need some catching up to do to hit that 1,000. I figured when we had Brady that Evans and Godwin won't be leading the league in rushing and receiving yards because Brady's not airing it out like Jameis was. Jameis is throwing it into double, triple coverage, and Brady just won't take that risk. So I figured their numbers would go down. But I would love to see both of them hit 1,000 yards, even if it just eclipses 1,000. Godwin is glad to have him back, 5 for 48, good. We had another blanket. Tyler Johnson is starting to step up as a legitimate threat. At this point, he is just a luxury. Scotty Miller, I don't think, maybe he did have a catch or 2, but nothing. He just had the big pass interference near the end of the game that put us up from 31 points to 38. It was a pass interference right at inside the end zone, so we got to go we had a penalty and we moved up to the goal line. So overall, now that the offense is getting healthier, it's starting to look really good. This is the kind of offense that we predicted: efficient offense that can score points, that can, you know, sustain drives and keep our defense off the field to rest. So this is exactly what we wanted. Now, the highlight of this team was the defense. The defense balled their asses out. This is probably the best defensive performance of the season, and I can confidently now say that the Bucs defense is an elite defense. I know the Bears beat us. We held the Bears defense in check, or we held the Bears offense in check pretty much. They didn't gain a lot of yards on us, but when it came time to stop them, we didn't. But this kind of performance against Aaron Rodgers, who was playing some of the best football of his career, coming out with a purpose, like, yo, y'all drafted Jordan Love, and now it's my turn to prove that that was a mistake. Bad performance on his end. He had 16 completions for 35 yards, under 50% completion percentage, which is probably one of his worst in the career. He's typically a very efficient passer. 160 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 picks. All the talk was about how Green Bay does not turn the ball over. Aaron Rodgers, I learned a fun fact. Before this game, he only had 3 pick sixes in his career. Now he has 4, and 2 of them came against the Bucs. One of them was with Tenard Jackson, I want to say, in 2000. 9 maybe, when we had Josh Freeman. That throwback game that we had where we wore the creamsicle jerseys, and then now this one. And yeah, 2 picks in 3 plays for him after going however many, couple hundred passes without a pick. Amazing performance from the secondary. Last week I complained about playing too loose. This year we played tight coverage, and it showed. Breaking up passes, receivers not getting open for the Packers. I mean, he had, what, 19 incompletions. That doesn't happen when you're playing loose coverage. So beautiful performance there. Jamal Williams, 4 rushes for 34 yards. Let's talk about him. He had a quote where he said, "At least my quarterback knows that it's 4th down." Well, your quarterback knows it really well, because y'all had like 15 straight 4th down punts after you went up on a 10-0 lead. So the quarterback knows 4th down really well. So it definitely showed. A.J. Dillon, 5 for 31. Aaron Jones, 10 for 15. Subpar day from their rushing attack. Devontae Adams had 61 yards receiving. Nobody else had over 35 yards. Pedestrian. Our defense overall had 5 sacks total, with 1.5 coming from JPP. One of them was a forced fumble on their backup. Tim Doyle, I think. We had Devin White had a sack, Levante had 1.5, and Sue had a sack. Sue's sack, though, was violent. You could tell there was some history between them. They were talking smack to each other. Sue was getting in his face, and that sack before the end of the half was beautiful. He just kind of just shoved him down. Like, you could tell there's some bad blood between them. Jamel Dean had that 32-yard pick 6, like I said, one of the 2 interceptions, and Mike Edwards had another one off a slant, which looked like it was bobbled and tipped into his hand. Aaron Rodgers, the whole game, was feeling the pressure. We had 13 QB hits. You could tell he was feeling very fidgety. He was shaken up. He was getting hit so much. This isn't the kind of Aaron Rodgers that we were used to seeing, and I don't think he's used to playing a defense like this. I don't know all 4 teams they played before today, but from my understanding, they were not the best defenses they played. The Saints was probably the best one they played. I think they played the Vikings one week. They played, did they play the Falcons? I don't. Maybe they played the Falcons too. They haven't played a top-notch defense like ours, so it definitely showed. In the final 41 plays from the Packers, after they went up on a 10-0 lead, they only had 57 yards, which tells you how dominant our defense was, considering they were one of the best offenses, the highest scoring team in the NFL. We held them just to 10 points, a field goal and a touchdown in the first quarter, and nothing else. That is a testament to Todd Bowles and his play calling and his game plan. I think the MVP of today's game should have been, or should be, Todd Bowles, for playing a game that beautifully, for calling a game that beautifully, for putting all the players in position to dominate. I know we only had 2 picks. There was another 2 for sure picks we should have had. Antoine Winfield had that diving one, which would have been the first father-son combo in NFL history to pick off the same quarterback. And then late in the first half, Rodgers aired one out deep to, I think it was Devontae Adams, and Carlton Davis almost had it, hit him. It looked like it hit him in the face mask in the face and then kind of bounced out. So that would have been potentially 4 interceptions on that end. But overall, the defense dominated. The best defensive performance I've seen from the Bucs since, I want to say, 2016, when we shut down the Seattle Seahawks at home. But the difference was, that game we only scored like 16 points. This game we scored 31 on offense and 7 from the pick 6. Dominant performance all around. Brady's probably going to get a lot of credit, but the credit should go to the defense for that performance. And then the 2 big highlights, I think we finally have a kicker. Suckup had 1 field goal attempt, made it 50 yards out. Beautiful curve, looked like it was going to miss and curved right back in. I think we have a kicker now. I don't think he's missed that many field goals this season or extra points, so that's good. The anxiety level when we go for kicks is starting to lower, so that's good. If we can have a kicker that can make over 85-90% of his kicks, I feel comfortable. And then the biggest difference in today's game is 0 penalties accepted. I think the only penalty we had called was before the end of the first half, when Sue pushed Rodgers late, but it was offsetted with the intentional grounding, so it doesn't count. But I saw a stat at the end of the 4th quarter where it said we had 42 penalties this season in our first 4 games, leading the entire NFL, and today we had 0. So beautiful performance all around from the Bucs. Big shout out to Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich for putting together an incredible game plan for adjusting the defense after Rodgers was picking us apart in the first quarter. Now, when I say picking us apart, it was a lot of short routes, crossers, things like that. He wasn't taking shots or anything like that. So I want to say shout out to them. They had an extra few days. It was like a mini bye week. So it was a wonderful performance. Really hyped for this win. This was the kind of statement when we needed. Last week when Brady chewed out the offensive line, there was a lot of talk about it, and I thought, Brady hadn't really chewed out players at all this season, and I think he wanted to prove, like, you know what, he said he didn't want to come in and like be the boss man or whatever, so he wanted to prove that he still had it and then earn their trust or whatever, even though he was the GOAT. And I think last week was the final straw. He was fed up, yelled him out, cussed him out, and I think now, I said I told one of my friends that last week after that, this was a breaking point in the season and things were going to change. Brady's no longer tolerating stupid mistakes, inconsistency. He's going to make sure that the team is ready. And I think that Bears loss, a lot of players said that we should have won that one. And I think now this is their proof, like, we can't let these games slip away. Who knows, that Bears loss may come back to haunt us since we are now 2-2 in the NFC. But 4-2 on the season, first place. I think the Saints have a bye week this week, so we're going to be sole position of first place. The Panthers lost to the Bears, so they are now 2-3. Saints are 3-2, and we are 4-2. Next week, a big Sunday night football game against the Las Vegas Raiders. You know Chucky's going to be all hyped trying to beat the Bucs. His first game against us after we fired him. I think that is a game we can win. The Raiders have been very inconsistent. They either win in dominant fashion or they lose, and I think this is a game now. It is a night game, so I guess we have a little bit of extra time to prepare. Players can heal. Evans will probably be back in better form. Same with Godwin. Fournette should be back at that point, and I think we'll be able. This next week might be the healthiest our offense would be the entire season thus far. So definitely looking forward to it. I think we can pull that Raiders game off and then come out of that game with a 5-2 record, because after that we play the Giants on Monday Night Football. We can really make a run here. So shout out to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4-2 on the season, beating one of the best teams and best quarterbacks of all time. That's what we need. Let's go Buck Nation. Once again, make sure you click the subscribe button down below, and let's stay tuned. Let's get on this motherfucking roll and dominate this season and win the NFC South. Go Bucks Nation, and as always, I am out.
Our offense tough, our defense rough. Go Bucks. Ain't no other team stopping us. Go Bucks.